I'll start the speech by quoting the Kohelet, which is Ein Chadesh Tachat HaShemesh, which is there is nothing new under the sun, because the topic about Tikkun Olam is really also dealing with the generational shifts. So under the premise of the topic, I will either seem naive to a certain degree or unbelieving in the generational difference. And it's not because there aren't really new innovations or new ideas seeing the world, but as Jewish people particularly, we are rooted in our values and our stories. So from the Exodus, and the covenant handed down orally and then written, tell us of freedom, civil liberties, and social justice. The covenant, the belief in a universal God, one in which we learn right from wrong. The do's and don'ts cannot be challenged by thinking men and women. So the challenge in front of us is to adapt to changing times and make sure that we are relevant in our teachings and guidance and be willing to be wise enough to listen to the next generation as they seek their rightful place at the tables and adapt to the changing world. But are we asking the correct question of this panel? Because it's not about whether these ideas are some kind of trend or passing thought, but rather it is the experience of engaging younger adults in a respectful and humble manner. Listening, not demanding. Learning, not to be frightened by change. Recognizing that may we always stay forever young, and accept the changing evolution that is our next leaders. They are faster of thought, quicker of commitment, anxious about the future and our planet. It is a symptom, not a fundamental change. So I venture, based upon what I know, that I am the only member of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame here in the audience. And rock and roll, which is an incredible American story, was basically born from slavery, born in the blues, of poverty, of misery. And yet when it is done, it is really about freedom of expression, freedom of belief, and yes, freedom of even sex. And yet the two greatest songs of rock and roll, as deemed by VH1, scream out regarding this topic. The two greatest songs are first, not actually first, but the second one, rated by VH1, is a song called Respect. And what it says is R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Find out what it means to me. It doesn't mean our view of respect. It means what is the recipient view of respect. The second song, which is rated the #1 song of all time in rock and roll, is called Satisfaction. I can't get no. So that's what we're saying here. Are we really listening to the next generation and hearing what they're calling out for, which is respect and satisfaction? So can we accept the fact that youth is always revolutionary in its own time? But in time we change and basically look back and say what was revolutionary 30 years ago is the standard today. So when I was 25, standing proud and tall, we were told not to trust anyone over 30. We gathered on the Washington Mall to end a war. We gathered at Woodstock for celebration of joy and maybe some other things we don't actually remember today. Or maybe we choose not to remember. I'm not sure what. So we moved on. We got a little bit older. We went back to the mall, and this time we were protesting together for Soviet Jewry, saying, let my people go. Is that any different than what is going on today, whether they march in Tel Aviv, whether they march in other squares in the Arab world? Is it any different when we can gather together, not without social media, not without Twitter, not without Facebook? We did it because it was the right thing to do and is what we were taught. So I would say that I used to believe when I was younger that taking out the trash was really a job that was handed down from father to son. In my house on Tuesday nights, it was your job, kid, to take out the trash. And that's all that we did. We didn't understand that we were supposed to separate bottles from cans, take our plastics away from paper. All right? I didn't know that until my children told me it was important to do that. I didn't wear a seatbelt in a car until my 6-year-old child, who's now 35, made me sign a contract that says I have to wear a seatbelt when I drive. So are we willing to listen to what our children have to say about the changing evolution? I wouldn't think to drive without a seatbelt today. It's part of my normal course of my daily activity. I said, not only do I take out the trash and separate the bottles from cans, but now in my household, because of my children and my wife, we actually compost. All right? But you have to understand that these are things that were foreign 20 years ago, but they're standard today and tomorrow because of the children. So within the construct of the JF&A, what are we doing to change? We're creating new kinds of partnerships, whether it is with the Jewish Agency as it relates to their program in Project 10, whether it is with the Joint Distribution Committee with their programs in Entwine, whether it is with programs that we're developing called Bikurim, which may have names that you know, like Chazon and Shashrit, okay, as well as some other programs that we're doing in order to engage our young people in Detroit, where 700 people show up to young leadership events. So let us agree, since my time is up, that all the young adults are asking for is respect and satisfaction. Before rock and roll, we called it Tikkun Olam. Thank you.